MY Premier League Gameweek 36 matches are here. We got some bangers like Liverpool versus Arsenal and Newcastle versus Chelsea. Those are gonna be some pretty good games. We got some super good football games this week, so it is time to get straight into the matches. First of all, we have Southampton versus Manchester City. I think we all know where this game's gonna go. So let's get started with Southampton. This season, they have been horrible. Like, overall, their form is very, very bad. As well, they are confirmed relegated as well, I believe, as we all know from their last game. And honestly, they are probably one of the worst teams we have seen in the league. They currently are sat in 20th place. And from the last time I checked, they only won 2 matches so far. That is outrageous. It was actually on February 1st where they played Ipswich and they won 2-1. Tyler Dibling is a player as well that's being looked at, and I think he will probably leave. Honestly, it's guaranteed, I think. Onto Man City, they have been pretty decent this season. Form-wise, they have stepped it up massively because they need to get that Champions League spot to secure Champions League for next season. Now, last game they played Wolves and they managed to win that game 1-0. KDB was the goal scorer. This is officially his last season. He did announce that. We have some news that Haaland and Rodri are close to returning as well. So that is a massive, massive positive for Man City. Doku has been such a key player. He's been quite clutch for them in recent matches as well. And Man City, I think, should easily secure Champions League football this season. So my prediction is going to be a 4-0 win for Man City. Moving on to Fulham versus Everton. This game is going to be quite tight, so let's get started with Fulham. Like, they have been pretty decent this season. Form wise, it's been a bit on and off. I would consider them a underrated team. Like, earlier in this season, they were pushing for a European spot. Now it looks like that's a little bit out of reach. It is weird because they beat Liverpool 3-2 on April 6th. That was crazy, but then they went on to lose their next 2 games against Bournemouth and Chelsea. But Robinson has been one of the best left backs in the league and one of Fulham's best players. Onto Everton, they have been alright this season form wise. It's been a little bit rough for them. Played against Chelsea in the last game, and well, they lost that game 1-0. Even though Sean Dyche is gone, they still are getting a lot of draws and are conceding a low amount of goals as well. So David Moyes has done, I think, a pretty decent job so far. Although Everton do sit like in 15th place, but one of their most impressive wins has to be 1-0 against Nottingham Forest a few weeks back. So it's quite interesting how they signed Broha, but they do not play him much. So my prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Moving on to Wolves versus Brighton. This game is going to be amazing. So let's get started with Wolves. They've been doing quite alright this season. Form-wise, been pretty decent as well. Last game they played Man City. As I mentioned before, they lost 1-0. And this new manager, Vitor Pereira, has the team playing such good football. And Cunha, he's been the star player for this club. He now has 30 games played, 15 goals and 6 assists. So it's no wonder why so many clubs are looking at him as well. Now moving on to Brighton, they've been pretty decent this season as well. Their form has been not the best. At this time of recording, they beat West Ham 3-2. And it's pretty high scoring game. Did not expect it at all. But João Pedro, he has been one of the most important players for this season, and I think he is one player who might make the move as well. So he has like 27 matches played, 10 goals scored, and 6 assists. So we could maybe see him moving in the summer. Now, the football this team plays is quite nice to watch as well. But for this game, my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw. Now let's move on to Ipswich versus Brentford. Now this game, it could be pretty tight if we're being honest. So let's get started with Ipswich. They have not been the best this season. To be fair, they are confirmed relegated as well, and in their last match they lost 3-0 to Newcastle, and Newcastle are obviously a very, very good side, but Ipswich have some talented players in Delap, Omari Hutchinson, who's come from the Arsenal Academy as well. He's played at Chelsea. But honestly, I think overall, in terms of their play, I think Ipswich play good football, just the results are not there for them. Now on to Brentford. Brentford, they've been doing better than last season, if we're being honest. Like this season, they're around the mid-table mark. I think last season they were very close to relegation, around 17th place. And Mbeumo and Wissa, that duo is just so dangerous. Wissa, I believe, has like 15 goals plus this season. He has been, I think, the main goal scorer for the team. But Brentford, I think tactically they're a pretty solid team. Thomas Frank is a pretty underrated manager, and Brentford are a underrated team as well. So let's see what they could do in this game against Ipswich. But my prediction is gonna be a 2-1 win for Brentford. Moving on to Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. Now this game is gonna be great because Bournemouth have recently regained their form, as well as they beat Arsenal 2-1. Such a disappointing loss for my team, but Ivan Nilsson, he has been a very solid signing from Portugal. He's been banging in those goals. I did not think he would start scoring goals straight away. I thought it would take him a little time, but it did not. And obviously Kirkish with his incredible crossing for Bournemouth, it's unreal the crosses he makes. And he assisted, I believe, Ivan Nelson's goal against Arsenal. Now this team's obviously underrated. Earlier into the season they were actually pushing for Europe, but it did not happen. Now Aston Villa, they are a very solid team. I believe they played today and they beat Fulham 1-0. Now in terms of that, Yuri Telemans won that game for them 1-0. Now that's a massive win for them, because they potentially could push into those Champions League spots as well. So that's huge for Aston Villa. But this team is massively underrated. They have Watkins up front. They have Morgan Rogers, who has had such a good season for them. But Unai Emery, unfortunately, he did not manage to go far in the Champions League. Now my prediction for this game is gonna be a 2-1 win for Aston Villa. Moving on to Newcastle versus Chelsea. This game's gonna be massive. So let's get started with Newcastle. Newcastle have been very good this season. If we're looking at the table, like Newcastle sit in 4th place. That is huge. And obviously in their last game they played Ipswich, I believe, and they beat them 3-0. And I don't even have to think about it. I already know Isak scored in that match. This guy Isak just has 20 plus goals this season alone. That's back-to-back 20 goal seasons for him. Now Newcastle overall are a very good team in a mid-block. Moving on to Chelsea, they've actually been doing pretty decent this season. Earlier onto the season we had them in the title race conversation, but they did drop off a few games, which kind of dropped them down to around 7th or 8th. But now they are back up to like 5th place, which is good. And they have that Champions League spot on lock at the moment. But honestly, it could shift anytime soon, because Nottingham Forest, they are on 60 points. Aston Villa, 60 points as well. So it's really, anything could change up from 2nd to like 7th. It's actually pretty crazy. But Chelsea, Sancho has been pretty good for them. Nico Jackson is back for them as well, which is huge. But overall they play some pretty good football. Once again, it's just the results they have to get. Now my prediction for this game is going to be a 3-1 win for Newcastle. Manchester United versus West Ham. This game's gonna be pretty underrated, I would say. Manchester United, they have been pretty horrible, if we're being honest, in this league. I believe they sit in 15th place at the moment. That is horrific. For a Manchester United team, that is not too good. But they have players up front who are not really scoring, like Højlund. He struggled a lot to score as well. Xerxes is obviously injured, but Casemiro has been stepping up in the recent matches as well, and Maguire, he's been massively clutch for Manchester United. And in the last game, they actually played Brentford, but that game hasn't happened at this current time. I'm recording this, but before that game, they played Bournemouth and they drew 1-1, which isn't a too bad result, and I think they deserved the win from that match. Now moving on to West Ham, it's been a little bit of a rough season for West Ham because, I don't know, they sacked their manager around the mid-season, who was Lopetegui. Now they have Graham Potter, and Graham Potter, he's had them playing a lot better football, but in terms of results, it's not going too well because they are 17th place in the league right now, but they are still safe because, like, in 18th place we have Ipswich, who are on 22 points. Like, the difference is 14 points from 17th to 18th. Now Bowen has been massively important for this team. He's been getting a lot of goals and assists for them as well, so he's been kind of their main man for the past few years. Safe to say West Ham are not going anywhere. They are staying in the Premier League. Now my prediction for this game is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Nottingham Forest versus Leicester. Now this game, I think we all know how this is gonna go because Nottingham Forest, they have been in not the best form right now, but this season they have been pretty good. Honestly, defensively pretty good. Counter-attacking wise, that's probably their strength. They play in a low block, but then they counter-attack you, which really works because you have like Hudson-Odoi and Elanga on the wing, and obviously Chris Wood, he's having an absolutely outstanding season. He's up there with the top goal scorers in the league. It's actually crazy. Out of nowhere this happened, but fair play to Nuno Espirito Santo. He's done a fantastic job with this team. But in terms of their form, it's been a little bit rough. Last game they did play Brentford and they lost 2-0. That is fully unexpected, but they still are in contention for the Champions League, sitting in 6th place with 60 points, so they can move up to 5th in terms of goal difference if something kind of changes. But onto Leicester City. Yikes, this team has not been good this season, currently sitting in 19th place. It's been a very big struggle for them, and they are confirmed relegated as well. I thought when Ruud van Nistelrooy, when he came in, I thought he would do a lot better than he's doing right now at Leicester, but they have been, I think, like winless in like 9 or 8 matches. It's unbelievable. Vardy wants to stay in the Premier League, so maybe we could see a move from him, but realistically he might retire or he's gonna stick with Leicester. But Leicester, they just concede goals like crazy, like 76 goals conceded overall. That's insane in 35 matches, and they're lacking in terms of the goal department as well, so that's a big yikes for this team. We'll probably see them in like 2 seasons or so back in the Premier League. But my prediction is gonna be a 3-0 win for Nottingham Forest. Moving on to Tottenham versus Crystal Palace. Now this game, it could actually be a very underrated game because start with Tottenham a little bit. Tottenham have not been in good form this season. Like, it's been horrific for them. I believe they're under Manchester United in 16th place. What in the world is going on over there? Like, Angie is not doing too well in terms of the Premier League. Obviously, he's had the injuries of players like Romero's been injured, Van de Ven has been injured, multiple key players, Madison has been out. But now they have a fully fit squad. They're so in there, so there's no excuse at all to lose any more games. And honestly, this might be a draw for them or a win. I think they need to continue to do well, because if they don't get to the Europa League final and win it, Angie could be sacked. Now onto Crystal Palace. This team has been pretty good this season. Earlier onto the season, I think they did not do well and they did not start well. But after that, like mid-season, they started picking it up. Eze has been chipping in with goals, assists as well. Mateta, He's just been banging goals in ever since he returned from his injury as well. But Crystal Palace, they are also in a FA Cup final against Man City. So that's going to be played on Saturday, May 17th. Massive game right there. In their last game, they actually played Arsenal, and they drew 2-2. That's a pretty good result, not too good for Arsenal, but I believe Mateta scored in that game. Of course he did, and Eze did as well, but this team can definitely push into the top half of the table. Now my prediction for that game is gonna be a 2-2 draw between the two. Now moving on to the probably biggest game of the week, which is Liverpool versus Arsenal. Yeah, that's right. Arsenal is going to have to give Liverpool a guard of honor. This is the day all Arsenal fans have been dreading. We haven't really been in the title race, to be fair. Let's start with Liverpool. Liverpool have been fantastic this season. Like 2 losses only this season in the Premier League. That's outrageous. They have top defenders, Van Dijk, Konate over there. Trent has been fantastic. He might be moving to Madrid, or maybe he could surprise us and he will stay. But Salah, we gotta talk about that guy. That guy has been outrageous this season. He's broken multiple records for most goal involvements and also most goals in a single season. And fair play to Slot. He's came in his first season and he's won the league. So Arsenal, on the other side, it's been a alright season, but still disappointing. We currently are in 2nd place. That might be the 3rd time in a row that we are in 2nd place for the season. Hopefully we stay in the top 4, because top 4 is getting really tight, because Arsenal did lose today against Bournemouth 2-1. Very disappointing result. Like, what can I say? Off 2 set piece goals as well, and Odegaard finally got a assist. Hopefully he could bring that into the PSG game in the 2nd leg, but we're gonna need all the guys to just start winning games all the way until the end of the season, and hopefully we win something. If not, then Arteta might be in trouble, if we're being honest. But in terms of the result in this game, I see it being a 2-1 win for Arsenal, mainly due to Liverpool not playing their main team. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below all your predictions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.